Hello, Charlie TCG here, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to break down the top 5 rogue decks for the Twilight Masquerade format. The decks are a little bit under the radar, but can still keep toe-to-toe with the rest of the meta. The decks that I think can have the most fun at a local, but also a huge deep run at a tournament like any I see in just a few weeks' time. Now, Twilight Masquerade is released on Friday, so a better place to look at the most fun decks to play right now from this brand new format. Now, my number 5 pick does in fact go to Festival Box, which focuses around Dipling, which makes sure you can attack twice if you have Festival Crowns in play, and do the wave effectively mean 100 damage times by 200 damage for 1 energy. Now that is very, very good. Now we have some really good support Pokemon in this one as well, the likes of Thwackey, which means if you have a Diplo in the active spot, you get to search your deck for any one card and pop it into your hand. Now this is very much Pidgeot EX, but unlike Pidgeot EX, if you have multiple Thwackeys out in play, you can use the ability multiple times. So if you have 2 Thwackeys in play, you can use that ability twice. So effectively search your deck for 2 cards every turn is really, really powerful. It's really help your setup as well. Now we focus around the Bug Catching set, which it's a brand new card, which lets you look at the top 7 cards of your deck and attach any combination of Grass Energy or Grass Pokemon into your hand. Grabster is a really good support Pokemon because it protects you from Dragapult and likes of Radiant Greninja, which is really, really strong. Now, 200 damage, yes, that's really good. Obviously, it really helps in Charizard matchup, but the likes of Kieran and Maxwell can make sure you can deal additional more damage as well, which can help you go toe-to-toe in the likes of Dragapult. Now, this deck could definitely struggle with multiple healing things, and you have very, very low HP as well. So it's definitely something to be considerate about. Any decks with focus around like Monkey Dory or even Guywog, this deck can really, really struggle. Or if they have very much high HP, this deck can definitely struggle as well. But I think this is a very fun deck and could in fact be very, very strong because it can take multiple prizes every single turn, which I think is a very good single prize archetype. Now, if we look at my number 4 pick, it actually goes to Iron Thorns. Now, you might go, Charlie, this got top 16 2 Champions Leagues ago. Why is this a rogue deck? Well, remember, Arceus and Vulpix, that's a rogue deck, and that actually has won multiple tournaments. But I think this definitely is a more of a rogue archetype now, pure on the release of Dragapult. It can still done very well, but Iron Thorns has amazing ability, which pretty much means if it's in the active spot, no rule box Pokemon have abilities except future Pokemon. Now, obviously, this is really, really powerful. And you can even play the new Ogerpon as well, which means it's only affected by attacks from Pokemon which don't have abilities. Now, this is very much an NG denial build, which I think is a really good one. Enhanced Hammer's back, Crushing Hammer. I think these are really good inclusion as well, even likes the Hand Fan as well. So if they even attack into you, you get to move their energies around. Now, you aren't playing any of the likes of the electric generators, so we play the TM Turbo Energize to really chuck all your energies out and play for attacking with your likes of your Iron Thorns. Now, this deck definitely is a little bit of a caveat as well. It can struggle with some decks which can get these big one-hit KOs. Now, and also Mimikyu as well can really slow down this deck, hence the likes of a Cancelling Clone. Now, we play lots of hand disruption, likes of Eerie, Iono's Judge, and the Arven to get any of our packages we might really require. I think this is a very, very fun deck as well. I think this could, in fact, do pretty well overall because it's a really good controlling archetype. And this deck here can really, really keep toe-to-toe with multiple things. But if Dragapult is so powerful as well, this deck can definitely not really fall very, very far away, because obviously it's not slowing down Dragapult at all, but it is slowing down the likes of Miraidon, the likes of Charizard, even the likes of Lugia as well. Now, if we look at my number 3 pick, it actually goes to Blissey. Now, Blissey, I think, is a very fun deck, and I talked about it a lot on Monday, and I think this is a very, very powerful attack. Because it has the amazing attack, which has 180 damage, it gets Draw Tail 6. That's not bad. 300 HP for stage 1. That's also pretty good. But the Happy Switch is exactly where it works, which makes you move one basic energy card from one of your Pokemon to another one. And this works very well with that new Monkey Dory, which means if it's got a Darkness energy attached to its one, you get to move 3 damage cards from one of your Pokemon to one of your opponent's Pokemon. And I think that's a very, very powerful thing, especially with the likes of Blissey. 300 HP, effectively if you have 3 Monkey Dories out in play and even Radiant Serena, you're healing 20 damage from your guide, but also moving 9 damage counters from your side and dealing 90 damage to your opponent's side, which is very, very scary. It can be very, very tough for Blissey to actually get KO'd. Now, if you look at the rest of the deck as well, definitely going back to the Turbo Energize, similar to like the Iron Thorns we just talked about, it's a way to really energy accelerate as well, because this deck definitely requires quite a lot of energies out in play. Like the Darkness supposed to really utilize your likes of Monkey Dory, which is really, really good. Now, obviously that's only limited once per turn, so you want to set up multiple Blisseys out so you can try to streamline these attacks, and the survival cast as well. It's also a really good tool card as well to include, because you can effectively make sure your opponent can't even deal 300 damage. It's got to already have damage counters on it, or even a lost vacuum to try and one-hit KO Blissey, which I think is very, very scary for the deck to deal with. The Sharon's Care to really loop any of your Blissies out as well. So it's also the Boss's Orders and Leona to really hand drop any of your opponent's side as well. I think this is a very, very fun deck as well, and effectively could do really, really well going into the tournament as well, because it has 300 HP. It's very difficult for anyone to really knock it out. And I think it's a very, very fun deck. And if you've got the whole setup working, like 2 Blissies and 3 Monkey Dories, you're in for a very, very fun game. Now, my number 2 pick actually goes to Greninja, and this is when you go, Charlie, why is Greninja here? I thought it was a competitive deck. It was, and then Dragapult happened. But Greninja EX with Frostlats, it's an incredibly powerful deck. Now, Greninja EX was really good and really hyped about because that Ninja Blade attack, 170 damage, and search deck for any card and pop into your hand. That seems nuts. And even you have like the Duplicate Barrage, which gets you to discard 2 energies from this Pokemon, deal 120 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. This is really powerful. You like a double turbo, 100 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. That seems super, super strong. And Frostlass is an amazing partner, which makes sure that you pretty much put 1 damage counter per turn to any Pokemon that has a has an ability in play, including both yours and your opponent, but doesn't affect Frostlass. So I think this is really, really powerful. And this whole deck really focuses around that by having a high count of Greninja, because you want to attack with this one, and then having the Frostlass as well. So effectively, if you have 3 Frostlass in play, you're effectively doing an additional 60 damage per turn. 3 damage both in between turns, which is really, really strong. I really like having the Cleffa because you really need that support. You want to get that high draw factor as well in the early game to try and get your multiple setup. I love having the Hawlucha as well to get a little bit more damage counters on the play as well. The Hyper Aroma gets you both your Frogadier, but also your Frostlass, which is a really good inclusion as well. Irida as well works really, really well because obviously you get any of your water Pokemon, get all of your attacking Pokemon as well, except like Super Greninja. So I think this deck is a lot of fun, and I think it will really keep toe-to-toe in a ton of the rest of the metagame. Now, they might go, Charlie, could this actually keep toe-to-toe in some of the decks? What's it like in Dragapult? Well, I think it could work really well because you're already spreading a little bit of damage counters on. You're forcing them to not have a Dracos in play and forcing them to go into either go straight into Dragapults or try and evolve them as quick as possible. Then if they do that, you have the TM Devo as well to really answer to that one. Lugia as well, obviously they resist you as well, which can be a bit scary, but you can really set up multiple Frostlasses and try KO the Archeopses out effectively before they can even get the ground running. And obviously, Enhanced Hammer is really good, getting rid of the likes of a Legacy Energy as well. I think this could be a really, really fun deck going into the format. I definitely think it's definitely favoring more on the Rogue archetype instead of the competitive builds, but overall, I think this is a very, very close, good Rogue archetype. I'm definitely going to get a day 2 at NAIC, potentially with this deck, because I think it's a really, really fun one. And finally, my number 1 pick is Raging Bolt Ogerpon. And this actually took the internet by storm, and even the Champions League the last week completely by storm by nearly actually being the 6th best placing archetype, just nearly outplacing Charizard, which honestly is insane to think about. Because I was always like, nah, Raging Bolt is not good, but it was just waiting for the partner. It was just waiting for Ogerpon. And Ogerpon works so well in Raging Bolt. And if you just look at this list here, it is just super, super fun and super, super consistent. What kind of attack focuses on, you always want to be attacking with your Raging Bolt, but effectively you can attack and deal over 200 damage going second with this deck, which honestly is absolutely terrifyingly powerful. Because Ogerpon can use his ability, which lets you attach Grass Energy from your hand to Ogerpon and draw 1 card. Obviously, really, really powerful. If you get Professor Stardust Vitality set up, attach it to a Raging Bolt, multiple potentially in play, you could get some energies attached per turn as well. You could effectively do a huge amount of damage every single turn. In the late game, if you set everything up, including your Sandy Shocks and your Ogerpons, you can attach 4 energies every single turn before you can even do your energy attachment and Professor Sada. Yep, you heard me right. There is so much energy spread around this one. It's a very fast, very aggressive deck as well. End retrieval to really pick up those grass energy again to really attach into Ogerpon. You could draw for your deck super quickly because of the Squawk ability with the Gradient Greninja with the likes of Ogerpon as well and Professor Sada. This deck here is super, super fun. Super consistent, surprisingly, and I actually think this deck definitely could actually do really, really well. Obviously, a lot of people thought it'd be really, really strong. Ogerpon can really help you in like your Charizard matchups if you ever see this one. You also can deal huge amount of damage, really help you in like the Dragapult. They have not really that low HP Pokemon, so you have a decent matchup into that one. You can struggle sometimes with Iron Hands because obviously they can hit 3 prizes of Squawk ability, 2 prizes of Greninja, and then they can use Mirage on Decay for Sandy Shocks or Ogerpon. But overall, This deck here is very, very scary and actually a lot of fun. So I hope you guys actually enjoyed this rogue archetypes and best picks, I think, for the Twilight Masquerade format. I'm going to be back in just a few days with my top 5 competitive picks for Twilight Masquerade on the release day. So we are so close to this brand new format and exactly see how it's going to outline into the NAIC metagame. Will Dragapult be the best deck, or could Charizard, in fact, actually make a little bit of a comeback? Hope you guys enjoy this video. Make sure to click that like button and comment down below what's your favorite rogue deck to play right now in the Twilight Masquerade format, or where do you think your testing will go? I'm definitely an Ogerpon with the Raging Bolt. See you guys later. Bye for now.